Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we are back at it here for the Hold Your Bricks Academy, and we head to a very difficult little track here. It is the 1 1/3 mile Darlington Raceway, the egg shape, the lady in black. It's got so much lore here for this track, but it is not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's going to test these drivers for sure out here. It looks like a big, wide track. It looks like you can get about 6, 7 wide on this track. And you can, but there's about 17 different bankings here as well. And really that top banking, exactly, that top banking is really where you want to be. You can go kind of too wide, on that top banking, but it gets really tight. I mean, it feels like a bike path when you're up there. So we'll see how these drivers handle it, mainly when it comes to the passing. You really have to set up your passes. You have to really... You can't really sneak attack here. You can't really send it in late and try and surprise somebody on the inside. You kind of have to telegraph it a little bit to make sure you both have a little bit of room going in there. Carl Hamwork joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, the lady in black here tonight. We'll see who's going to earn that first Darlington stripe.
I think a lot of drivers probably end up earning their stripe tonight. This track is, it's not a short track. It's over a mile. 1.31 miles here tonight in the fog, as you can see by the gray haze illuminating the track. And I guess that's just the doom that's upon us here tonight. It's a slight overcast and no rain in the forecast, but it's definitely humid out here, so that can affect the car for one. But Carl, these corners are so unique that the bigger end of the track, the one that has the wider side, so the turns 1 and 2, it's almost like it's 2 distinct corners in one. Like you normally like 2 and 3, like you just kind of run in one spell swoop, but this one here is far enough apart where it's almost 2.
I'd say it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, well, the weird thing about this track is, the way it was designed was because of farmland, and the farmer didn't want to give up a portion of his farmland, and that's why turns 3 and 4 are a little bit tighter in radius than turns 1 and 2, and they really drive completely different. I mean, it's almost kind of akin to a track like Pocono, where there's 3 completely distinct different corners. Here, there's 2 distinct sides of the track. 1 and 2. Typically, you kind of enter, right at the bottom end of the top banking there, let it drift up in between 1 and 2, and then you want to get that car angled back down to come out of turn 2, because the exit turn 2 is going to come up on you real quick. And then in turns 3 and 4, you kind of have to get it woed up. You can run the bottom line, kind of right up against the, the quote-unquote apron down there at the bottom of the top banking, or you can just let it all hang out and get as close as you want to that wall. But it's kind of the same thing. Turn 4 exit can sneak up on you. You can get out there and brush that wall and exit. I think turn 2 is a little bit more troublesome just because you're carrying a lot more speed coming out of that corner. But either way, it's 2 definitely distinct sides of the track. I want to talk about the points here real quick, and then we'll get into our pre-race reporter here. Jeremy Gill is your points leader by a mere 2 points over Joshua King heading into tonight, and then another 10 points back to Andrew Jones, with Matthew Ulmer and Drafty Beef rounding out your top 5. But the man that's in 6th is the man that's on the move. He won last week. Timothy Presley getting his 2nd win of the season out there at the beautiful Michigan International Speedway, and we'll see if he can get a 3rd win here tonight. We also had Jeremy Gill, Matthew Ulmer, and Matthew Everard for your winners here on the season. So we'll see if we can get another winner here on the season. But it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be it is a track too tough to tame for a reason. This is a bit about survival, no matter if you're in the front, middle, back, anything like that. But we'll go ahead and bring in Robbie Miner here. And Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take your interview here tonight for the driver of the number 53 here, Robbie Miner.
Hey, Robbie, this is Jimmy Carl in the booth. First of all, obviously out there getting ready for the difficult track here that most drivers earn the stripe. But kind of give us why you decided to kind of come up here before the race and give us a rundown of this track.
Well, this right here, this track, I did not realize it was quite this difficult to manage. I was holding my breath the whole time I was qualifying on new tires. This thing is slick, man. So it takes a good 5 laps for me to even get to where I can feel like the car's sticking. So it's going to be interesting.
Looking at the forecast, obviously you guys have an overcast, so that's a lot of moisture out there. Obviously not raining, but it's probably one thing that drivers don't think about when you're on the track so much. You don't get that kind of glooming haze as if you're looking from our far cameras here. It's definitely going to be an interesting one there for you. So tonight you said you're having some troubles kind of taming it here. It takes about 5 laps. Do you got a lot of time here, or is this your first time here at Darlington?
Yeah, this is my first time running here in a race scenario. I live in South Carolina, and I go to a lot of Darlington and Charlotte races. But as far as running them, I haven't ran them a lot. And I just picked them because they were kind of home races, and they were already going to pick Charlotte, so I didn't have to worry about that one. So with Rockingham, I used to love that on NASCAR 2003, and that was years ago. And so since I've gotten back into it, I really like that track. I had a good showing up until I spun out. But this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be an interesting one here. I see you're all entering in turn number 3. So before you get out of exit turn number 4, you got any people you'd like to shut up before you go?
Well, I'd like to thank just you guys for everything you guys are doing, and you guys, well, everybody in the league, man. This is gonna be something. Well, y'all have a great one, man.
You too. As that pace car is in, and you're getting ready to go. Good luck out there, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
That is the driver of the 53, Robbie Minor, as we'll get him back down there in the Minor channel. We are racing here at Darlington. Drafty Beef, your pole sitter, Jeremy Gill on the outside. They will head it down off the backstretch, or onto the backstretch here, but right there you see already turn number 2 claiming some victims. Already looks like the 94 Robert Altman down on the inside of the weird thing about Darlington is because it's so wide, you seen he slid all the way down to the bottom there. It's not going to bring out a caution now. It might because he's up there on the driving line, but no, it looks like he's going to tow it back to pit lane. Unfortunate there for Robert Altman, not the start that he wanted. We'll take a look at what happened here. And you see just pushing up out of turn number 2. You got to get that car angled down to the bottom, bounce off the wall and across the nose of the number 1 right there of Timothy Presley. And that could be an early start to the night that he's not going to want to see. But Altman jumping into the pits. We'll see if he gets back out there at some point. But out front, Jeremy Gill now taking the lead. Not sure what happened to Drafty Beef, as it looks like he may have had an issue not too long after the Robert Altman incident, where he started really slipping back. He was the pole sitter, and now he is way back in 17th position.
And let me go back here for all so I can catch kind of what happened to Drafty Beef. And here he is up front. We'll go ahead and fast forward this back to real time.
And cold tires coming off of 4. Heck of a great save, keeping off that inside wall. You see all the cars going by him, but absolutely beautiful save, keeping off that inside wall. He works his way back up onto the track, and he's going to lose a ton of positions, and he'll have to try and make those back up. But ultimately, he kept that car clean and kept it out there. But right now, it is Jeremy Gill out front, Tom Lanier in second place, Joshua King, David Chapman, and Tiffany Ellis for the top 5. Good start for all these drivers, as they're all up at least one position. Tom Lanier up 4, Joshua King up 2, David Chapman up 6, Tiffany Ellis up 3. And then you got Presley, Jones, Thomas, Martin, and Jacobs for your top 10, with Jared Martin right now, biggest mover of the race, already up 9 positions.
Jared Martin doing a fantastic job there in the monster machine of 9th spot. He is actually the 00. So them numbers, I think, blend in with his paint job. So black numbers on a black paint in the dark fog. As you can see, it's very hard to see here tonight.
Trying to blend in.
Trying to get down the track, and you can kind of see the haze and the kind of the mist a little bit on the track a little bit, but definitely doesn't make for very great far shots here at CRN tonight. So I might have to turn the cars down just a little bit so we don't blow everybody's ears off all that
Yeah, I know one thing. It can get quite foggy down in South Carolina. I know Darlington isn't exactly near the ocean or anything like that. It's kind of more towards central South Carolina, or at least far enough away from the ocean. But I know the one time that I've had a chance to be down in South Carolina golfing in a tournament, and day number 2 of the tournament, got out there and had an early tee time. Could not see about 10 feet in front of you. So trying to tee up a ball, it's hard enough trying to figure out where your ball is going to go, and then you literally hit it into the ocean fog. You cannot see anything, and I'm not joking by saying 10 feet. That's about all you can see in front of you. It was just a white haze over everything. It's not nearly as bad here tonight at Darlington, but it can get a little rough. It was a good save right there from Matt Ulmer as well. But you see, it looks like the 14 up into the wall there a little bit, going to save it coming off of there. And I'm sure that wasn't our first one, but that is it's one known as the Darlington stripe right there, and the 14 up into the wall. But I think if he wasn't up in the wall, he would have got sent up there by the 9, as Smith was up there, and now it looks like it's gonna shuffle around here a little bit. The 14 already got some major damage on that front right, but I think you probably have just about everybody at some point or another have a little damage on that front right.
We will go and check at the halfway mark. Well, should try to do it before they go in the pit and see how many people have beat up that wall. But the 23 smacking the wall hard. Higgs down on the bottom. That's low on the off the apron, but that's still flat down there. Slows it down, gets it under control. Somebody off the wall to number 23.
So, yeah, that is Ulmer right there. So he had some major issues in turn number 1, but again, it's off the racing line, so there's no caution. That car is hurt. It's blown up. He's going to have to try and limp that back to the pits if he can even do that. But yeah, not sure. He clearly missed the entry to turn 1. Not sure if he forgot to brake or what the case was, but that thing just went straight up into the wall in turn number 1, and then really lost it coming out of turn number 2. But out front, Jeremy Gill still leads the way, 0.6 seconds right now over Tom Lanier, who is out 4 seconds overhead of Joshua King. So the top 2 kind of really checking out here. And then David Chapman now up into 4th. Timothy Presley for your top 5.
Yeah, so some drivers having some issues early. This is a track of patience. They're out here for 85 laps. Which is a decent amount of laps here at Darlington to keep it off the wall. You can see behind the 88. Getting into
2-time winner this year, Timothy Presley. Doesn't matter if you're a 2-time winner or not. You can still get this wall pretty quickly.
Yeah, and we'll just go ahead. We'll take a run of everybody's front right end. You can see the 88's got some damage. You'll see Jeremy Gill still looks clean. Tom Lanier still looking good. The Viper King looking fantastic as well, sitting in P number 3. 4th place got some damage. Timothy Presley's got some damage. Tiffany Ellis some damage. Andrew Jones clean. Dylan Jacobs clean. Joe Thomas still clean.
I was gonna say he's clean and don't stay on too long now.
Jarrett's looking good. Robbie Minor damage. Drafty Beef clean at the moment. Bryson Anderson still clean. James Smith damage. Don King clean. Ryan Perone damage. William Martin clean. McLean clean. Tristan Minor damage. Rob Higgs damage. Thomas Osborne clean. Shane King damage. Matt Olmore, I think he was in already.
Well, clean now. Yeah.
and Robert Altman
clean now. Yeah.
So you can tell, like, about half the field, Carl, is obviously having their issues here tonight with those turns.
I mean, I can laugh. We're up here in the booth. It's not hurting us at all.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, not even 15 laps into this race, and half the field has got into the outside wall. That's Darlington in a nutshell right there. It is not easy, and it doesn't matter if you're a top-notch driver here or not. That the wall is going to find you at some point or another, whether you like it or not. But it's tough because the fast line, you got to get up there. You got to test your mettle. You got to. As right there, I believe that was the race leader smacking off the wall right there. So, I mean, well, actually, it was your race leader. The 99 of Tom Lanier has actually made the pass and got into the lead. So, not sure what happened to Gill, but it looks like on lap 14, lost the lead to Lanier. But yeah, I mean, it comes up so quickly, but you have to figure out how to enter the corner. You gotta let the car just roll through the corner, and then you have to figure out how to exit the corner. It's really four things. That the middle of the corner doesn't really matter as much, other than setting up the exit of the corner. You have to set up these exits, or you're gonna do just that. You're gonna smack the wall constantly, especially out of turn number 2. You're carrying so much speed through there, and like these guys right here, the bottom line going through 1 and 2 is not the line you really want to run, or that's going to happen right there. You see 2 cars, 3 cars into the wall off the corner. You have to really let it ride up to the outside. It looks like the 14, maybe even calling it quits here. Maybe he's already had enough and bringing it down and into to pit lane here, or maybe even got a meatball. But yeah, I mean, you have to let it drift up between 1 and 2 so you can angle it down to get off of turn number 2 at the correct angle and really be able to get on that gas. If not, it's just going to push into the wall, as you see right here in between 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, the lights are starting to come out here, so you've got that transition from day to night as well, along with fog. So there's a lot of things kind of going on with this track car. The Xfinity car used to be known pretty well for not turning very well, so I didn't get a chance to go out and practice. I am not a super fan of this track. I've always had issues with turn number 3 and 4 for the most part. 1 and 2 I wasn't too bad at, but the 3 and 4, I just put my name up right alongside where Darlington's at. I'm sure I probably hit it more times than most of these drivers that are going around here tonight. So, but it's definitely an interesting track. Obviously, it's unique. So just trying to kind of get along with everybody. It does look like Higgs is back out. Probably just maybe a meatball or just too much damage from that right front. And it is really about, when you drive in the corner, not driving too deep, getting that car to kind of rotate. And once the car rotates, then you can get on the throttle and start to accelerate. But you really don't want to give it too much acceleration, because the more acceleration you give, the front end pushes out. So you got to make sure that front of your car is turned going almost in the right direction before you really get on it. You can see another another incident there. See, that was the 0-0 of I think maybe Jarrett Martin here. Still no caution here. Oh, and we do have a caution here at lap 22.
Looks like we will have a caution coming out here. Let's take a look back and see what brought this one out here.
So the drafty beef just bumping Jarrett Martin after Jarrett bumped into the wall, so kind of hitting things up here, and drafty beef continuing to roll. But Martin hitting the inside wall and spinning right here on that backside. So I'm sure we'll see another driver come by right there, able to miss him. So it looks like a single car accident here. And maybe unable to get going. Yep, and tows it right there. So tough break for Jarrett Martin as he takes the 0-0 into the pits here at Darlington. We are 23 laps in of 85, so a pretty decent run. Obviously having a few issues, but the track's as wide as it is, it's really narrow. The track is probably about 2.5 car lengths wide, but you can see down here in the front stretch, it's like 7. It's really, really huge. But that inside, unless you got some sort of high downforce car, you're not going down there without the car going around. These cars here, they need to be up on that back end.
And we've had some fun with other cars, non-NASCAR type of cars, your NASCARs, your trucks and things like that. We've got out here with, the MX-5s and Radicals and different cars like that. And they go slow enough and they have enough downforce that it will, it will allow you to use those other lines, those alt lines, and really kind of explore a little bit that you wouldn't be able to do here in these NASCAR type of cars. But this is going to bring us under our first caution. We'll see quite a few drivers coming down into pit lane, but a couple staying out. Looks like Bryson Anderson, Don King deciding to stay out this time by. Just to give you an idea, I know on a full tank of gas, it was getting about 72 laps to the gallon. Not sure if we're if we're even gonna get close to that, if we get a long enough green flag run here tonight, it's nothing against these drivers. It's just Darlington can again eat up the tires and the cars of the best drivers out there. But these drivers with 75% fuel should be around anywhere from like 50 to 60 laps on a tank of fuel. So from here, they could very well be good to go to the end. Again? So we are. It's what we do. I mean, it's what we get paid for. We get paid to broadcast, to give everybody what they want. Talk to us and the guests pretty much the entire race, and to scratch your heads and wonder what the hell people are doing.
Calling the shots for everybody. All right, everybody, take tires.
That's
left sides only. Left sides only.
Listen, we know there's some that like to drive and listen to us at the same time. I don't know if I can do it, but
two donuts come out of turn number 2, and then when you're done, go down in the pits and take right side tires.
and hopefully your crew's not in there eating ice cream, because I believe this is where the scene happened in Darlington. But anyway, it looks like Anderson and King are going to stay out. They're not going to come in the next time or anything like that. So they're going to be first and second. Now the big thing here is going to be, you need to get the power down on the restart. Doesn't matter if you have new tires or used tires. And in fact, Bryson Anderson and Don King may actually have a better shot of firing off than the likes of the rest of the cars out here with new tires, because cold tires here for the first couple laps, it is skatey. It is really, really sketchy, but we're going to get this thing back underway. It looks like, not sure what Don King is really hanging back there on the outside lane. And now maybe catching back up here a little bit as we will get the green flag here. And King into the outside there. And may need some black flags cleared there. Not sure if anybody passing underneath there is going to get black flag. But either way, we're going to get back going here. Bryson Anderson fires off certainly a lot better than Don King does as we head through and onto the backstretch. Already the 4 of Jeremy Gill right to the back of that number 7 Subway machine, and you see what the new tires can do. It's only been 23 laps, but the new tires feeling fine. Not so much for the 5. Hard impact for Dylan Jacobs into the inside wall, and that's what can happen right there. And if you hop on board with the 5, there we go. Looks like he slowed down enough to get that hood down. But again, off the racing line, no caution. As we got battling down the backstretch, looks like the 7's trying to go down there and get out of the way a little bit. Hopefully he can blend up into the track and not cause any kind of issues. Looks like he's going to, but Tiffany, a good job getting down there and saving it. Getting a little bit loose, going to lose a few positions back now to 7th position, getting back in line. But you see those fresh tires, just because they're nice and new, doesn't mean you have the grip right away. They are a little bit slick. You have to wear them things in and heat them up a little bit.
Well, we talked a little bit about Minor. He was talking about wanting at least 5 laps for the car to kind of really start hooking up and doing what he would like it to do, or at least try to like what he'd like to do, and not get up there in the wall. Being new, this is a very obviously unique track to get out there and get things done here. It's just it's not like the first track that I want to start iRacing. If I started iRacing on Darlington, I probably would have hung up iRacing.
Yep.
This is a circle. It's not that hard. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Just go back to NASCAR heat at that point. Just give it up there. But right now, Timothy Presley back out front. Jeremy Gill, not back out front, finds himself out front as he got around Jeremy Gill. And this is the second time now we've seen Gill out front and losing the lead. First time it was Tom Lanier, and now this time Timothy Presley looking to go back-to-back here. Already 2 wins on the season, looking to get his 3rd win here. So plenty of time. Obviously, we're just on lap number 30, but we're going to get another caution here. Looks like Don King and Robert Altman as well. We'll see how much damage to both of these cars. You see the 70 right here, and major net code right there. And then looks like the 83 maybe giving a shot to the 94. And this could be maybe the end of the night here for the 94. They do have 2 faster pairs, not just one. So yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle number 94 not exactly having a good night and then sliding up and getting it to Don King as well.
Yeah,
And it's
I
gonna bring
don't
out our
know
little
if
caution.
Robert was yelling out the window cowabunga on that one.
Well, it's going to bring us under another caution, and definitely from here on out, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say that they are good to go on fuel from here, but we'll see what the drivers decide to do. Looks like we got a few takers from the back of the field here. Andrew Jones, Bryson Anderson, Thomas Osborne, William Martin, just to name a few coming into pit lane this time by. Looks like Robert Altman ended up towing it back to pit lane, so going to go a few more laps down. Our in-race reporter, Robbie Miner, I didn't see him caught up in anything in the 53, unless he was caught up in that one. No, I don't. Yeah, he might have been. That might have been him coming into the incident right there at the end.
Yeah. I mean, the car looks okay. Let's see. Gear in looks good. Let's see the front. Yeah, it looks good.
Unless he took a fast repair that we didn't see. If he did, that was a fast repair.
Maybe he took Altman's turtle shell or something. I mean, for some extra body armor, but the car looking pretty good there. Chester Cheetah just kind of doing his thing here.
Well, as of right now, I'm sure these drivers don't necessarily mind the pace laps here too much. I'm sure that they
I wouldn't either.
are more than welcome to just cruise around here for a few laps, get a little bit closer to lap 85 there, because the less laps you got to do in the green here, the less sweating and watching that outside wall get closer and closer to you have to do. But we're going to double them up here once again. Hopefully a little bit better restart on this one. It's going to be the one of Presley on the inside, and then the 4 of Gill is going to line up on the outside here for row number 1. Row number 2 is going to be Joshua King and Tom Lanier. And Drafty P rounding out your top 5. James Smith, Tiffany Ellis, Joe Thomas, David Chapman, and Sean McLean for your top 10. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up. Make Jimmy happy. And we want to see a bunch of thumbs up here for the video here tonight.
Yay, thumbs.
And hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, but also a thank you to our series sponsor, pinupsforvets.com, and check them out and all the great things that they do for the veterans out there. We're going to get this thing back underway here as we're over a third of the way through this race already. I know we've had a few cautions, but it clicks by pretty quickly once we get this thing green. Pace car is in. It'll be in control here from the 1 of Timothy Presley coming out of turn number 4 to the restart zone. And he's back on the loud pedal. We're racing again here at Darlington.
Pretty decent start there. This one outside the fence. Back there, man. Stop taking a nap on me.
He zoomed way out.
Yeah, he did.
I wanted Timothy Presley getting the good start here as he leads him back to the line here. The 4 of Jeremy Gill. And second to 60 of Shane King. Man behind the curtains here is maybe making a curtain call here as he is going to be riding that fence on the inside. Big impact. No caution again, and this is it's known here at Darlington, at least among our circles. We know that if there's a car or 2 or even 3 or 4, we've seen some major incidents down on the bottom on the apron not bring out a caution. And even sometimes if it's in the back of the pack and there's nobody coming anytime soon, we've seen cars slide up the track on the backstretch and not cause a caution. So it's iRacing really stingy with the cautions here. I don't know if it's trying to make sure you get this race in or what the case is, but the leaders are starting to come up on some lap traffic here because Robert Altman is at the front of this pack. The 57 now of Thomas Osborne going around. Gonna get it back going here again. No caution here. It was down off of the track.
Yes, front left is up in the air and really messed up there. So tough break there for Thomas Osborne. 57 was up a few spots there and doing pretty decent, but go back out front. Kinds of things changing. Timothy Presley, your current leader over Jeremy Gill, Joshua King, Tom Lanier, Drafty Beef, James Smith, Tiffany Ellis, David Chapman, Joe Thomas, and Sean McLean.
Yeah, leader coming up on the 94. They're going to try and make the pass. As we take a look back through the field here, right on board with Sean McLean and now with Joshua King up front. His biggest mover of the race right now is James Smith in the 9 as he is up 14 spots in 6th position. But Jeremy Gill looking to try and reel in the 1 here as the 1 at Presley getting held up here a little bit by Robert Altman, the lap car. Trying to set up the pass coming off of turn number 2. All over the backside of that 94, just cannot get there just yet, and it's allowing both the 4 of Gill and even the 17 here of Joshua King to reel him in just a little bit as Altman's just fast enough with those newer tires to be able to hold off the charge here so far of Timothy Presley and trying to keep from going to get another lap down.
Yeah, seeing just before we move back up here, that's kind of why I jumped up, was seeing some battling going up there with the leaders. As you know, these drivers are still having some issues in the turn. You see obviously King going to the inside after Gill having a little bit of issues tapping the wall. Jump back behind these two as they're battling a little bit with Tom Lanier touching the wall just a little bit. Light taps can happen all night long. It's really when you just drive that car right in the wall and then all of a sudden you get a meatball. So it's not something the drivers want, obviously. And you can see up front Timothy Presley finally getting around Altman. But 17, 5. Oh, there we go for a ride.
Right on board, and that's what can happen if you're trying to make a late pass off of turn number 2. Lanier tried to follow the 17 to the inside, and it did not work out as he's going to go for a bit of a ride here. Drafty Beef just moved himself into 3rd place. You can see the 99 try to jump down to the inside. The 17 bounces hard off the wall into the 99. The 9 getting a piece of it as well. Ellis, great job getting down there, maneuvering by, as well as the 9 there at the end. And going to move past the incident there, but certainly some damage to the 17. A little bit of damage to the 99, not too terrible out there. And again, we said by the end of this race, you'll probably have some kind of damage on all these cars. Certainly they're going to be able to use the fast repairs, but see the front left of the 17 and then the right rear are definitely a little bit damaged on the Viper King right there. But we'll bring us under another caution here. We got James Smith in the 9, bringing it down into pit road. Looks like Joe Thomas, Rob Higgs, Sean McLean, and a few others coming down and getting some service on their cars, as we are just about at the halfway point already, Jimmy.
Yeah, and it might be, the drivers are like, I got a few sets of tires. I don't know how many they have, but, I'm going to go down there and get these new tires. I mean, it's worth it. If for some reason they can go green the rest of the way, we've seen stranger things. A lot of times that, some of these harder tracks, Carl, you get some of these leagues, it's like some of their best races. Green flag stops from, right from the go, but it does look like just maybe a stop and go for Joe Thomas in that 218, just a splash of gas, maybe just to make sure they have enough to the end. So that might be what we're seeing here from the field here. And I don't know, if I had tires, I don't know, if I had enough tires, I'd probably take another set, because just really depending on the count here. We're at lap 42 of 85. We're at halfway. I mean, I would take it.
Yeah, they do have 4 sets of tires that they can use for the race, so they're limited a little bit, but I mean, at this point, you probably want to have at least 1 or 2 for the second half of this race, just in case we get, a couple times in the cautions. Obviously, if you get another caution around lap 60, you're going to want to set. And then if we get a caution within, like, the last maybe, 10 laps or so, you'd probably want that other set. So maybe you want to keep another 2 sets in the pits. But other than that, yeah, I mean, if you got still 3 sets left, why not come in and take a set right now? But we're going to double it up here once again, and this time, at least for now, looks like we won't have any lap cars in the front of the field trying to hold that 1 back. We'll see if Presley can get a little bit better run and try and stretch out his lead over Jeremy Gill, starting on the outside again. Now, Drafty Beef trying to make the ultimate comeback. And remember, he started on the pole, had the big old slide coming out of turn number 4 on lap 1, and fell all the way back to 17th. He's all the way back up now to 3rd. So the 2 is certainly on the move. The 87 there of Tiffany Ellis, fan favorite from Sunday or Saturday night in the CRN Cup, as she won the driver of the race in the road race. We'll give you that little spoiler, but if you haven't watched it yet, it's worth a watch. It's certainly worth some time out of your schedule to take a look at the CRN Cup. Great racing for both the oval race and for the road race, and a ton of cars out there in both the fields. But we're going to get this thing back under green. Again, Timothy Presley is your control car, and he is back on the loud pedal a little bit later here. But we are going to be back to racing here at Darlington. Good restart from the 1. Good restart from the 2 of Drafty Beef on the inside as well. But you see the higher line is going to be a little bit better through the corners. And how about the move from Gill to the inside? Presley gets in the wall. Beef gives him enough room. And that was good driving from both the 1 and the 2. The 1 keeping it from bouncing off too hard, and the 2 giving him plenty of room as the 1 still wall riding through 3 and 4, trying to hang on a second. And now it's going to bring out another caution. Looks like the 1 may have all that forward there to not take out the entire field because he blinked out pretty quickly and is dropping through the field. And not sure if that was the case. If it was, that's a nice gesture. That's a nice move there from the 1. It's certainly going to take him out of the running here. He's going to have to get back into the session and then try and gain his laps back. But he could have taken out probably 4, 5, 6 other cars in that incident right there.
Yeah, I mean,
you're trying to find the incident there. Oh, there he is. Yeah. So wow. So I'm not sure what happened because he's back in. So that was strange. That was that was indeed strange. So not sure what it was. If that was a blink out, that was a perfect time blink out. I will give him that.
Yeah, it's,
remember there's a lag switch that you can get.
Yeah, I might need that. Yeah, it's an interesting one out here tonight, Carl. Obviously, these drivers, in their in their elements, obviously underneath the lights out here having fun and trying to get things done here at Darlington. This is not an easy track. You can see the constant troubles that the drivers are having throughout the race, getting off these corners. It is difficult if you can conquer this and walk away here tonight without getting next, so you give yourself a pat on the back, even if you're not the fastest. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I've done some pretty long stints here in a few leagues that I ran in, and especially with the 87s where I could not tire save, and the league that I was in, they did full tanks, and they were out here for the full tank of fuel at this crazy track and getting to save them tires. So it can be done, but wow, it was like I think I pit like 3 times to get tired because I couldn't do it. I was like, nope, half a tank, I'm in. Like I was just that bad. But those drivers were continuing to just run pretty decent times, even on the worn tires. Like there's just a lot of talent, and that's one of the leagues that we used to watch, and I still wish they were still out here in the 87s or whatever vehicle they'd be running. They did that. The 87s and Gen 4s and trucks, but that was CSRL. No, US or
UCRL.
UCRL. We got a few leagues that are doing pretty close to acronyms, but UCRL. So
you can go ahead and keep that. I mean, it's if you had to make me choose between a full race at Darlington and a full race at Martinsville, I'd still take Darlington, but only just. I mean, a full race at Darlington would not be fun at all. And trying to make those tires last that long and just trying to keep it off the wall that long, trying to make it to the end after being out there that long. No thanks. I think 85 laps is plenty out here for these drivers here tonight. Going to get this thing back underway. Joshua King, Bryson Anderson decided to stay out here. They are in the front row. Anderson is your control car. I'm sorry, Joshua King is your control car, or maybe, I'm pretty sure it was Joshua King that was in the lead, but looks like the 7 getting a little bit better jump here as Bryson Anderson going to get to the lead. The 17 and the 99 side by side. Looks like Lanier going to move himself into second place. Be careful on these restarts with these cold tires. Good job there by the 14 of Higgs, keeping it off the wall. The 17 is going to slide back into third. Looks like King and Chapman maybe having some issues off of turn number 2 down on the inside, and King just getting one of his laps back. He's going to be back into the pits. We'll see what happened here. And Ulmer on the inside, and I think he was trying to drift up a little bit because of that lap car, or not the lap car, the car on the inside apron. But it's going to take out the 88 and the 60. not a good night here for Shane King as he's going to be back in there. But Bryson Anderson is your leader. But now coming down into the pits, not sure what happened here for the 7. But he's going to come down into pit lane. And that's going to give the lead over to the 99 of Tom Lanier. And now we're going to have a caution. So I remember what we said about, scratching our heads and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Well, this is a situation right here. Trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I'm confused here.
That was... There is the caution for sure. As Timothy Presley was a little bit slow there. And then looks like 3-4 cars involved in this one, including our in-race reporter, Robbie Miner. So I was, of course, I was planning on talking to him on this next caution, and well, not when he's involved in a caution. We'll see what happened here once again. Looked like the one maybe up into the wall, a little bit slow.
He's coming in the picture right now. There he is.
And it looks like maybe some of the cars deciding to go down to the inside there to try and avoid him. And you see right here, Miner slows up a little bit, goes down to the bottom. And then the 00 Jarrett Martin goes to go through the middle. But right the last second is probably when Miner heard the 3 wide call, but it was already too late at that point. Gets into the 00, into the wall. For the one of Presley, kind of sneaks out of that. He kind of sneaks through that some way or another and gets by there to live another day. As you see a few cars, the 6 there, Sean McLean getting by. Robbie Altman finally getting through an incident and not getting involved in it. So good to see Turtle maybe surviving a little bit on that one. Probably hiding in his shell going by there, but either way, makes it through. But out front, once again, it's going to be Tom Lanier in that 99, looking to. I'm not sure if we've seen him out here this season. I'll have to go back and check. I know it sounds like a newer name here, but I know for sure he does not have a win yet on the season.
Who's that?
So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, Lanier, yep. Yeah, it looks like Lanier. Actually, he was in 1 race so far this season. But looking to try and get his first win on the season. And again, through the first few races here, we have Jeremy Gill, Matt Ulmer, Drafty Beef, each with a win. And then you got 2 wins from Timothy Presley as Shane King once again getting the wave around. It happened last time under caution, and it didn't exactly work out too well for him. So hopefully this time a little bit better. But it's going to be Lanier, Thomas, Gill, Higgs, and Perrone Sr. for your top 5. Drafty Beef still up there, up into 6th right now, trying to work his way back up through there. Timothy Presley, after just missing in that incident, he's in 7th. William Martin, Joshua King, Bryson Anderson for your top 10. So again, still not understanding why Bryson Anderson came into the pits, but it was pretty good timing that caution came out for him to keep him on that lead lap.
I mean, it worked out in his favor. I mean, now you see me, now we don't, or now we didn't. I have no idea where he went. It just disappeared. We figured he got all that forward, get off the track to keep things kind of going as Shane trying to, warm up his tires a little bit, get a stripe before the race goes green. Hitting the wall there just a little bit like...
The car was too clean.
I get you, Wall. take this paint job. I mean, you gotta give it to these drivers out there. They putting so much time into these liveries. Some of these drivers put so much time into the liveries. I mean, we made a comment the other night on CRN for the drivers over at 191. Their upcoming race is a throwback, and I made the comment of I don't want it to be some. They want to see what their throwback schemes are. It's like I don't want to see Jeff Gordon Alta screen, something that's pretty recent. Obviously Jeff Gordon's been out racing for a little while, but he's like, well, since that, and he comes out, somebody came, an old paint scheme. You can go check out their Discord, Carl. They got some paint.
Was it Rick Mears or something like that?
I think it's one of the Ivies. But they put an old paint scheme out there, so they took it to heart. Looking to get some classic, old school paint jobs out there. Looking for like some Levi Garrett and some you know, right before Harry Gant and Richard Petty, you know, back in the, like, before the 90s. I'd love to see some of those old paint schemes come back.
Oh, looks like Joshua King with an issue here. And try and see where it happened here. Looks like Matt Ulmer involved, Sean McLean, Robbie Minor. I don't see where it is. We'll have to go back and take a look here. Oh, you see right there, King getting sideways. And then right up the track where you don't want to be. I can't believe this is not a caution right here. It's kind of crazy. Gets involved with the 7 there. I guess he kept it straight enough while he was on the racing line. But you see the 22 getting involved. The 9 getting involved as well. I mean, it's going right by him. He's been busy enough here tonight. You'd figure he would see that one. But yeah, like right here, I mean, the 7 sliding up the track. And yeah, apparently he's got blinders on here tonight. Did not see this one. And then right here at the end, Matt Ulmer, nowhere to go. I mean, this was the big one here at Darlington. And
they're still green.
We stay green. And right here, past for second place as Rob Higgs Jr. going to move into second. And Shane King gets into the side of Jeremy Gill. Somehow he saves it. Great job there. The 2 of Drafty Beef and the 1 of Timothy Presley going to work on by. As it is getting crazy out here tonight. Now Beef briefly looked to the inside into 1 and gives up the outside. How about Presley trying to run around the outside, banging off the wall. And they're still going to be side by side off the corner. Drafty Beef with a slight edge. But they'll still be side by side. But out front, Lanier has gotten caught. And now, all of a sudden, we have a caution as it looks like Tristan Minor may be involved in this one.
I'll see what it takes to actually put out a caution. I mean, do 360 past Marty.
Yeah, I mean, me and you both at the same time. Just all right, I guess that one's a caution. Well, either way, it is going to bring out a caution here, and it's kind of an interesting point here because you see how tough and crazy it is getting through these fields. We're going to have less than 15 laps to go here once we get this restart. Lanier in first place, but Rob Higgs Jr. was definitely running him down and trying to get up there. Jeremy Gill, close call there. He's going to be in third. Timothy Presley, Drafty B for your top 5. But do you give up the track position to come in and get tires? I mean, for me,
yes.
You've already had 18 laps on these tires for some. For some of these drivers, they only had, looks like 14 laps on the tires, but I think it's kind of a no-brainer. You got to come in.
Yeah, I mean, if I got 2 sets of tires, I'm definitely coming in. 1, I might hold out just a little bit. Somebody can come in and get tires right now, Carl. You know, get up into like the 70-some laps to go. Or you can see up there, we're on lap number 60. We got 25 laps to go. So if somebody puts 10 laps on a set of tires and you come out here with a new set, you're definitely going to have the advantage. Now, depending on how many people come in. So we still have a lot of people in the lead lap. I'll go ahead. Well, I know we got a bunch of people in the lead lap. I'll say that. So we'll go ahead and you can see the gap. So it looks like we have 13 drivers. So half the field is on the lead lap. Of those 13 drivers, it really depends on where you are at and when you got tires. And you can see a few of those drivers, you know, we're in the pits. Drafty Beef coming out, Thomas, Jones, Smith, Anderson, all in the pits. I'll go ahead and bring up the pit lap number right here to the side so you guys can see when they were actually in to get tires. So the newest tires are currently sitting up there with Drafty Beef, setting P number 8. And that's going to be, you know, obviously going to have to, they'll have the tires obviously to get around Lanier. Now Lanier, we're pretty sure that the drivers have enough fuel, but not 100%. So maybe just kind of try to ride it out. The check position is important here. It is hard to pass. You've seen the drivers getting in the wall and trying to use that outside the best they can, but just something about it. You'd want to get close to the wall here. It does work.
Well, like I said, you need to. I mean, that's where the fast line is. If you want to get up there, you want to mix up, you need to get close to the wall. But it's not for the faint of heart. You have to have some cojones to get up there and mix it up and get close to that wall. Well, Right now, your top 10 coming back to the line here. It's going to be Tom Lanier, Rob Hicks Jr., Jeremy Gill, Timothy Presley, Ryan Perone for the top 5, Wayne Martin, Tiffany Ellis, Drafty Beef, Joe Thomas, Andrew Jones for your top 10. But we got a few with some newer tires, and it's kind of a mixed bag here. We got a lot of drivers that came in at lap 41, 45. Tiffany Ellis coming in on lap number 51, but then Drafty Beef on back. A few cars coming in here on lap number 59. So Drafty Beef, Joe Thomas, Andrew Jones, Bryson Anderson with lap 59 tires. Newest tires here on the track. Can they put them to good use, though? Will they have time? Will we get enough green flag laps to put them to good use? Green flag is coming back out here as the 99 is back on the loud pedal. We are racing here again at Darlington, and we're down to less than 15 to go.
Gonna go back in the back here where some of those new tires are going on, and Drafty Beef gonna get those tires to work here early, going low on the number 52 of William Martin, taking over at Pete, number 7, and gonna continue to try to march their way forward. They're gonna need to put them to work fast. 24 laps here doesn't take too long to go by. There's plenty of racing, but you gotta be careful. You gotta watch that line. You see Jeremy Gill trying to go to the inside of the 1. Here to take over Pete, number 3. We've seen both these drivers, using the wall up just a little bit back there with Tiffany Ellis. Slowing up, not
50
getting
Ryan Perone getting close to the wall.
Yeah.
And Perone into the wall again. Good job by both Ellis and Beef to keep it off of him. At the front, it's a pretty good battle as well. Lanier still leads, but the 14 keeps making some charges at him to try and get up there. You see the 4 has gotten around the 1. Gill is up to 3rd here again, trying to run down at the top 2. He's got 4-lap newer tires, but here's side-by-side battling into the corner. The 14 to the inside, great move. And Rob Higgs has got that pink machine up to the front. Pink, purple, magenta. I'm not sure what color you want to call that, but either way, it's nice and shiny. And he's got it cleaned up here for the end of this race. The 4 now moves past the 99 of Lanier. So the top 3 shifting around on that lap. Getting close to 10 to go. Drafty Beef still back there in 6th place, right behind Tiffany Ellis in 5th. Timothy Presley looked to be strong earlier, but can't seem to get that 1 fired off on this restart. Maybe just kind of hold him back a little bit, and maybe just got to talk about him. Just got to talk a little crap about him as he moves to the inside now. Takes over 4th place, actually, sorry, 3rd place from the 99, and Beef already passed Tiffany Ellis into the corner. Going to get past the 99 as well. Ellis trying to capitalize. The 99 slipping right now as the top 5 is all kinds of mixed up.
Yeah, they got to run there, and I think the 99 just being uncomfortable with the wall decided to just let up and let them have it. Take what you get. Obviously, if you mess up, you see Presley off the wall, almost into Ellis, but I was able to save it there. One continuing to have issues putting the number 1 stamp on the wall. I see Ellis right there in front of him, putting that Guns N' Roses car on the wall as well. So. Drivers still having issues with the wall, Carl. They got a few more laps to try to knock it down, I guess. But some other drivers doing some pretty decent jobs. So, but go give a shout out here to Rob Higgs for leading right now over Jeremy Gill, Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, Tom Lanier for your top 5. And obviously just want to shout out to the chat out there, CRN fans as well, Samantha and Kelly, Barry. All for joining us here tonight, and everybody else that hasn't said anything yet. And just kind of, we're not sure what's going on with Iracing. As you can see here live, so I'm not playing any voodoo tricks. I'm not a magician, but definitely some cars. Now you see me, now you don't here tonight. And the lady in black just kind of doing all kinds of tricks here to some of these drivers.
Well, as it stands right now, it is 17 laps to go. Actually, my live here, not trying to figure out what's going on here, but yeah, yep, just going to add on my end, as I thought we were 15 to go. We were actually 25 to go at that point. So yeah, now we're getting close to now 15 to go. I just I couldn't math, but the 52 hard into the wall. Looks like the 16 to the wall. The 218 already sideways.
Awesome.
Of course, Robert Altman gets a piece of that one here a little bit. Somehow the 17 looked like he snuck on by, but we'll take a look at what brought this one out.
Go ahead and click on this and see if it'll actually give me something.
Oh, some heavy net code in between the 218 and 50. They may make contact anyway, but then you see the 7 gets into the 218 to kind of finish off the deal and really start the bit of a melee right here.
Mhm. Joe Thomas sliding back up the track, even holding the brakes. 50 taking the shot, and the 52 comes in, gives the 50
Our
a
image
shot.
is right there. Not in a good way.
Right.
But right here, the 17 sneaks on by through the middle. And 94 just gets a piece of it there at the end.
Goes
And 88 coming in here as well, getting just a little piece of the 52 and helping just detach that hood on the front there as well. Going to bring us under a late race caution, and we got a lot of our leaders coming into the pits. Rob Higgs, Jeremy Gill, Tom Lanier, Timothy Presley, and Bryson Anderson into pit lane, but that means Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, and Andrew Jones deciding not to come in. So this is going to really shake it up here, and now we officially have less than 15 laps to go, so we'll see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, as much as I would say, well, it's a tire race at this point, well, not really, because I think it's who can stay off the wall race at the moment. A lot of these drivers, I'm saying pretty much everybody. There's very few drivers that have been able to, kind of hit each and every single lap without getting into the wall. Whether it's just skirting by or, a bump or taking some damage. And obviously we're going through late in the race. Drivers taking their fast repairs here as we're coming down. 15 laps to go. We'll do a damage check here on the drivers. We'll go ahead because it's fun to see how well they're doing. So see how many people use their fast repairs. As I've definitely seen multiple people get into the wall. Here's obviously Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, they look good. Andrew Jones looking good. Rob Higgs still looking good in the pink number 14. Jeremy Gill, this car is together at the moment. The 19th, still no damage. Timothy Presley with some damage on that right front. Not a lot, just a little bit, little brush. Bryson Anderson looking good at the moment. Joe Thomas looks good. William Martin looking good. So fast repairs in effect this time by Carl. Everybody's got their cars all nice and pretty here for the camera for sure, except we'll take one there for Don King with some right front damage. Even Shane King with a pretty clean car.
It's a dirty car. Dirty car, but it's clean damage-wise.
Yep, clean as far as the damage is what I'm talking about. Obviously, we've seen the Monster Machine have some extensive damage. Hood flying here tonight, but looking good at the moment. Robert Altman's car looks good. So I think, Carl, everybody... Oh, there's one. Robbie Minor sporting the Darlington stripe and some major damage there on the hood of the Cheetos machine. Matt Ulmer is out, so Sean McLean and Jacob. So a few drivers sitting on the in their haulers waiting to go home here. But we're in double wide, getting ready to go back to green. As Drafty Beef will lead him down here.
Looks like the 9 trying to figure out where he's supposed to get in there, but Drafty Beef going to lead him back to the green flag here. We are racing again here at Darlington, getting close to that final 10 laps of the race. And we're going to have another caution. The 4 and 14 getting involved in this one. Looks like, I was going to say, we're going to stay green on that one. The 99 getting involved. And we're going to have another caution that's going to take us under 10 laps to go. And that's certainly music to the ears of drivers like Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, Andrew Jones. They don't have to fight with those drivers with newer tires for too much longer, but we'll take a look and see what brought this one out. It looked like contact between the 4 and 14.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them on the tower here as they're getting shifted around on me. There we go. We're going to go ahead and rewind that just a little bit. Yeah, right there. You can see it happening. And we will go to the blimp here. We'll see what happened here between the 14 and Jeremy Gill. But Jeremy Gill, well, actually, maybe netcode there, Carl, between those two.
Yeah, it got close. Not sure if there was going to be contact or not, if it was just straight netcode, because you even see the second hit right there was netcode involved as well. But the 4 involved, the 14 involved, the 99 getting involved, the 7 getting a piece there as well. Looks like the 1's going to skate by this time, as will the 218. And then coming down the track, 14 hard impact into the side of the 9. Looks like the 00 gets a little piece of it as well. And then it shoots him up towards the 52. I think the 52 did sneak on by, though. 50 sliding sideways just to try and stay out of the mess. But going to bring us under a late race caution here. And we'll see who's got the car to finish this thing out right now. Your pole sitter, it took him quite a while. But Drafty Beef back into the lead.
You know, if we get a chance to talk to Drafty Beef here tonight, Carl, I'm sure either me or yourself would need to ask him, like, you know, how rough it really was. I mean, we've seen the car kind of get beat up all night long, and to be here at this point to, you know, to get a good finish is, you know, just to, you know, it's one of those races, you know, and, you know, we talk about you can't win them all, but it's what you do on the worst nights to get a good finish to kind of minimize your points loss for championships. And coming away here a win here tonight at Darlington, because there is going to be a winner, whether it's Drafty Beef or Tiffany Ellis, Andrew Jones, or Jeremy Gill. Timothy Press, and those drivers have been battling up front for the majority of the night. It's just who has the car and who can hold it, getting into corners, who has kind of figured it out here as we come down to the final few laps. But we're down to 10 laps to go. We're 2 wide. Lights are off on the pace car, heading down to turn number 1. So getting ready to head this thing up. But I have a feeling that we're going to see at least one more caution before the night's end.
We got less than 10 laps to go here, so put up a little poll to see who you got out there. Who you think is going to win this thing? You think it's going to be Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, Andrew Jones, or someone else in the field? See what you think and see how many of you are going to be correct here tonight. But we've got, again, about 10 to go here, getting the green flag this time by. And we'll see if those used tires will be able to make it to the end, if those slightly newer tires are going to work their way through the field. It's really just about anyone's game at this point. We've seen those newer tires really pay off dividends, but we'll see. Again, we'll see what you out there in Sierra Nation think. Just hit those votes and see who's got the correct answers out there. But Drafty Beef heads back to the restart zone, back on the loud pedal, and we are racing again here at Darlington. Pretty good restart, some slipping here and there, but ultimately everybody gets away into turn number 1. Can they survive 1 and 2, though? It's been very tricky here on the restarts. And it looks like we may be able to at least get to turn number 2. Same thing, real tricky here, getting these tires warmed up and fired off. But you already see Gill spinning down on the inside. Gonna bring out another caution here.
Number 4 hitting it hard there. It's trying to fight on board with Joshua King being in the back there. He's got I don't know if there's a lucky dog or whatever, but it's tail end of the lead lap here. We'll go ahead and check out what happened here with the 1 here. We'll slow it down. But working on the outside of the 3.
And he's in that outside line coming out of turn number 2, and that is kind of a no-go zone. Up into the wall, down across, and maybe even a little netcode again here across the 1. And that is going to possibly be the night for the 4. Hard impact into the wall, ends up towing it back to the pits. A potential win here in the cards for Jeremy Gill, your points leader, not going to come to fruition here, as we'll be under a late race caution. It's not going to be green, white, checkered time just yet. It's certainly still times to get your votes in there if you think it's going to be Drafty Beef in the 2, Tiffany Ellis in the 87, the 3 of Andrew Jones, somebody else in the field. Will we have enough time for somebody else to work their way through the field here as the laps are starting to tick away? It's going to be less than 5 to go when we get this thing green.
Well, top 8 have the opportunity. Joshua King was on the lead lap. Wasn't involved back there as they got put at the tail end. So obviously with Lucky Dog, you get back on the lead lap, but you're all the way in the back. And if a caution were to come, you can move up through the field, up to the back of the next position. You're actually battling instead of being at the tail end of the lead lap. So 17 coming in. Doesn't look like, well, there is the car going up in the air, Carl. So final laps, getting some tires, whether it's lefts or rights. Some tires have gone on for the number 17 of Joshua King. Can he utilize those within the next few laps. And there's a possibility. I don't think we're done seeing. I think we're called one caution, and we'll probably have one. I'd say one more, maybe even two. I mean, the drivers love to win here. Very highly competitive here, and obviously out here trying to learn and hone their skills here on these oval tracks. And you have to have these races. As much as a lot of drivers are like, oh, Darlington, I'm horrible at that track. If you don't get out here, you will have no idea. And each time you come back here, as bad as this place can be, you might find yourself loving this place. I know there's a few drivers in Core in particular that just love Darlington. Love it, love it, love it. Matter of fact, one of them just came back. Don't know how much he would love it right now after being away for almost a year, but Paul Butler out there in the number 77 over there at Cork Xfinity Series back in action. I'm sure he would love to see Darlington come up on the schedule for himself, but I don't know how we do after being gone for so long.
Yeah, I think Butler loves it kind of like the same way that Robbie Minor loved it. Because he's close to it. Yep. He's gone to the races, but now getting out here and running, it's a totally different story. And I know he's had his luck here, but I think a lot of times the drivers that love it only love it because so many others hate it, and they have a chance to really capitalize on it. But we're gonna get back to the green here. Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis on the front row here once again for another restart. Back in the zone, back on the loud pedal is the 2. Great restart from Drafty Beef as he's going to take off to turn number 1. Tiffany Ellis, a good enough start there to have an edge into turn number 1 over the 3 of Andrew Jones. The 1 of Presley trying to get around the outside. Looking back here, Joshua King trying to work his way up through there. He's got some fresh tires. Does he have the time to put them to good use as we are clicking away the laps here? It's going to be 4 to go. This time by the 1 pinches the 3 up into the wall. Still some contact. And down off the racing surface goes the 7. I think we're going to stay green here as that is probably going to be the end of the night there for the 7. See if he gets back around here, but it's not going to be a caution. Drafty Beef still in the lead, trying to get away from Tiffany Ellis. And kind of joking with Tiffany after she finally got her interview on Sunday night. I said, all right, you got that checked off now. Now get your
earn it.
Butt. We'll just say that. Get your butt into the broadcast room on Monday nights. And she's like, well, it's not going to happen this week. I think she may be as much of a liar as Alan Elwood at this point. As right now, she's up there in 2nd place trying to get this thing done. But Drafty Beef looking to get the win here tonight. Tiffany Ellis is 2nd. Rob Higgs now moving into 3rd. Higgs has got some newer tires, trying to put them to use here at the end as we got 2 more laps to go. Who is going to get it done right now? The votes are leaning the right way. Drafty Beef is in the lead, getting pretty close here for 2nd. We'll see if we get this thing back and get the white flag. This time by it's a 1-second lead for Drafty Beef. He wants this thing to go green all the way to the end. He's got a nice sizable lead that I don't think anybody's going to be able to run him down. The 87 still hanging on to 2nd place. Rob Higgs now closing in. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go here at the Lady in Black. Beef leads by 1 1/4 seconds down into turn number 1. Ellis holds on. Rob Higgs tried to get to the inside. Not going to happen. Is that going to be enough to keep Ellis in 2nd? Higgs gets a good run off the corner. We'll keep our eyes on this battle as Drafty Beef looking to check out here and get it done into turns 3 and 4. And out of turn number 4, it's going to be Drafty Beef getting the win. Close battle for 2nd place. Higgs on the inside, but Ellis gonna be a liar just like Elwood, and she is gonna talk to us after this race. A great run for the 87, getting in 2nd. Rob Higgs gonna come home in 3rd. Timothy Presley and the 1 certainly had his trials and tribulations here tonight. He's gonna come home in 4th. And then Joe Thomas, kind of the same thing. He was kind of all over the place as well, gonna bring it home in 5th. But Darlington, whew, she was too tough to tame here tonight.
Tough one for these drivers here at Hold Your Brakes Academy. And, we know that these drivers are a little newer on the service, and they're definitely out here trying to learn and trying to get around here and have some fun as well, and put on some pretty good racing. I think for Darlington, the type of track it is, and being here and the experience on here, we know how tough it is. We know being in these type of cars how tough it can be. We know even in the 87s, it's not any easier. So good win here to kind of survive and then come away with a decent finish here. Everybody out there just had troubles tonight. Some of them cautions probably should have happened more often. I don't agree with a lot of them that happened, and Iracing not throwing flags, but that's just, I don't know. I guess this is Iracing and Darlington. Maybe they don't handshake very well, but yes, they're just way down there on the inside on that apron, and the Iracing just doesn't call it. You seen drivers do a 360 past Barney, and he didn't care. So, maybe try and just get this race with tired of looking at let the cars go by. like, hey, wait, that looks like fun, whatever. But I just want to say,
waving his hand instead of the yellow flag.
I just want to say, congratulations. I mean, you finished 85 laps or a few laps down, whatever. But it's over with. You move on to next week, but you got it in your pocketbook, and you take the experience with you. There's always next week, and maybe one time you'll come here and you're gonna finally, it's just gonna click, because as soon as you figure it out, and that's what it is. It really is about if you can figure it out. Once you figure it out, it clicks, and then you're able to kind of get a good run here at Darlington. So better luck next time for most of those drivers, and great run there by Drafty Beef, Tiffany Ellis, Rob Higgs for your top three. Before we get everybody in here, I'll just go ahead and throw up on the screen your winners here tonight. Obviously, or your listing here tonight. Timothy Presley in 4th, Joe Thomas in 5th, Joshua King in 6th, Andrew Jones, Bryson Anderson, Tom Lanier, and Shane King for your top 10. David Chapman, James Smith, Jeremy Gill, Don King, Jarrett Martin, Robert Altman, Thomas Osborne, Tristan Miner, William Martin, Robbie Miner, Ryan Perrone Sr., Sean McLean, Matt Ulmer, and Dylan Jacobs here for your drivers. So 24 cars, and you can see down there some of the drivers kind of parking a little bit earlier, as this track is sometimes too tough to take.
Yeah, and I think going back to what you said, you learn how to drive this track, and then all of a sudden you get in a different kind of car, and you got to relearn it all over again, because just about every car drives a little bit differently here at Darlington. But the top three, they figured out how to drive it at least just well enough to get themselves up here onto the podium, and it was definitely a good ride for the 14. Enjoyed some laps at the front, but ultimately going to come home in 3rd place tonight. So, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 14.
An ass out of the corner.
Junior.
Yeah, you lost the ass out of the corner and
up here in the booth.
And you're right in the booth. So, but hey, Rob, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth, of course. And as typical fashion, we grab you at the probably maybe not your brightest moment, but it's okay. You get it done here tonight. Obviously, not without its trial and tribulations and having. Kind of up and down night here for the 14. We've seen a great, I think, sprints from the 14, making moves, getting up there, avoiding, dodging, dragging the wall. I mean, give us a rundown of your race, man. It was a tough one.
Just trying to find a safe spot to take it and get around guys using the honestly, Darlington, if you can and you are willing to do it, if you're willing to go below that dotted line on entries and some of the exits, it's about your only opportunity to make passes through the corners. You really just gotta have some cojones and stick it in there and pray it sticks like you think it will.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of races here. Not a huge fan. I've driven 87s, Xfinity, 87s again. Probably the funnest thing I've ever driven here was the one of the cars with the high downforce, so you could just run around the bottom, and you had plenty of track. You didn't have to worry about the wall. But the net code was super silly here with those cars, so we had a lot of issues and some.
Yeah, that late hit on me where Jeremy got in my quarter and Benton took the tire off almost. Really, I was like, man, am I going to be able to pull 5 positions in 6 laps? And I just drove it hard and just said, either we're going or we're killing. Either way, I was going to get to the front somehow. And Tiffany, she did a great job there at the end. She saw me going for the low line, pinched it off, messed me all up on my timing, and then pinched me out of 4 when I thought I had another run. She got just enough down to not let me get on throttle as much as I wanted. It was definitely a great drive there at the end.
Yeah, she definitely threw the defensive lines on you there at the end and kept you back there. But you walk away here tonight after, like I said, a rough and tough one here tonight at Darlington. It's either a love or hate track for most drivers. So I want to say congratulations on the surviving and being able to move on to next week. But
I appreciate it
in third place and give you some time for any shouts at number 14.
I would just want to shout out my brother, who I know is watching. He's my biggest supporter, honestly. Jeremy and the guys over at MTR, Marty and all, for being there, helping out, really helping work out some of the kinks with some of the driving, and just having a good old time with the boys.
That's what it's all about. Again, thank you for the shout outs. Again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, Rob Higgs Jr. getting it done here, and the flashiest, easiest car to pick out there. Second place here tonight is going to be the 87 of Tiffany Ellis. And Tiffany, we kind of joked around with Alan Elwood on Saturday night when he said after we interviewed him in the first race, like, well, you won't be talking to me in the second race, so you don't have to worry about that. And, talked with you earlier today. You said we're not going to be talking to you here tonight, but maybe later on in the season you'll get you up here in the booth. But I guess just everyone wants to lie to me this week. So another liar here. You come up here and you finally made it up here in the booth on Monday nights.
I did not expect this to happen, honestly. Honestly, this is such a trouble track for me. This is a surprise for sure. Just letting everybody hit the wall and wreck out again.
That's all you got to do. Just let everybody else make their mistakes, and you find your way there. But you had to have kind of the right strategy at the right time. And I got to wonder. I know you had some late cautions in this thing, but you were on maybe some a little bit older tires than some of the other drivers right behind you there by about maybe 11, 12 laps. Was that a concern for you coming to the end there? I know Rob Higgs certainly gave you a run at the end.
It sure was, and yeah, that was his advantage. He has fresher tires than me, and I kind of had to block him there at the end. He went a different line, and I kind of chose the same line, mirror driving a little bit just to save my second. But yeah, I didn't have no tires left on that last stop that everybody pitted. I ended up having to use my last fast repair on that last accident there, so I took a shot and just held her down.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my next question. Darlington, you have to pay attention 110% of the time out there and trying to figure out where you need to be at the right spot. But were you looking forward at all on that last lap, or were you just looking in that mirror trying to keep that 14 behind you?
I was kind of back and forth. I knew I had nothing for Drafty. He was kind of getting away on me there. It was more paying attention to Rob in the mirror to salvage the second, for sure.
Well, that you did. You get yourself your first podium here on Monday nights. Finally get up here to talk to us when it's official and when it's for points. It's definitely well deserved. Congratulations. You're certainly starting to kind of creep up the standings here and really starting to trend in the right way for the season.
Finally starting to have some good runs here and accumulate some good points and try to make a run for it. That's for sure. Give these boys a run.
Absolutely. Well, you did here tonight, so congratulations on the second place finish. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Hold Your Brakes Academy and Pinups for Vets for making this all happen, and you guys for doing such a great broadcast and interviews every week, week in, week out. It's amazing to be a part of. That's for sure.
We appreciate it, and certainly your well-deserved interview here tonight. So take some time to celebrate this one. We'll see you next week out there for the All-Star race.
Heck yeah. Have a good one, boys.
You too.
You too. That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 87 of Tiffany Ellis. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 2 of Drafty Beef.
Drafty, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Welcome.
Oh, man, it is good to be back up here.
I mean, everybody loves to come up here, and there a time there in this race I didn't think you were going to be up here. You started on the pole, and then you were in the mayhem behind you for the majority of the race until the end when it really counted. And you finally made your way through. got yourself in the front, and obviously when you had just a little bit of time, able to stretch your legs out and come away the victor here tonight. But kind of give us a rundown. This is one of them tracks where a lot of drivers have a lot of issues.
Then I tell you, I honestly did not figure out turns 3 and 4 until my second lap of qualifying. It was kind of like an aha moment. So once I had that down, I was feeling pretty good. It sucked. I just got a little too confident too early with the car. Was that lap 2 or 3? I spun on my own. Thankfully, kept it off the wall, man. And trying to get through the hornet's nest back there was definitely something, but we made it through, and I don't know, the setup just felt good. Seems like it drove off the right rear pretty well, and that's kind of what I like to drive, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of times with these fixed setups. Sometimes, a lot of people. I know I'm not a huge fan of fixed setups because if the car feels like poop, I want another setup. I want to change it some way, shape, or form. I don't want to be stuck with the same poop setup that everybody else is gonna. Because if I was in real life, you'd change it. But anyways, digress just a little bit. Everybody's on the same one, and if that's the setup that works for you, it worked great here tonight. You walk away the winner here tonight, and the points leader having a little bit of trouble. So you're gonna end up creeping up on the points here just a little bit here again tonight. It's just one heck of a run. So, we want to say congratulations here from CRN, but we definitely want to give you some time for any shouts you might have in that number 2.
Definitely. I can't thank the team enough. We all get together, talk about what we need to do for these races during the race. Big help to let me know what was going on behind, or in front where I needed to go. It helped me avoid some of the stuff. Of course, got to thank our sponsors, SM Racing Products and Majestic Promotional Branded Apparel. Thank you guys, as always, for putting on an awesome broadcast. And thanks to Shane and Pinups for Bets for sponsoring the league this season.
Really appreciate them shout outs. And again, big congratulations here from Darlington. But we're going to let you go and go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is the winner here tonight, the 2 of Drafty Beef, getting 2 out of the last 3 wins here as he won at Darlington. So we got 2 repeat winners here on the season. Next week, we head to a very interesting one. You thought there was going to be some calamity at this one here tonight. Next week, there will be, for sure. I can pretty much guarantee it, as we head to the Irwindale Figure 8 for the All-Star race. It is a non-points race. It is out there for fun. And I'm sure we'll have quite a few chuckles up here in the booth, and we'll bring in the winner here tonight. We'll bring in the winner, Drafty Beef, here, as he is the one that picked the All-Star race out there. So we'll get to talk to him again next week. But I'm sure we'll probably we'll key up maybe 3-4 other drivers, and maybe we'll talk to him during the event itself.
I'm pulling them all up in here in the booth,
and really try and mess them while they're out there.
Right there in the X.
That is going to do it for myself and Jimmy here tonight. But again, this is only about halfway through our week. Tomorrow night, we got the start officially of the Core Xfinity series as they head to Dover, and going to be possibly enough drivers to even have 2 different splits out there tomorrow night. There is a ton of drivers, almost 60 drivers signed up for the series. So make sure you tune into that one tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we head out there for the GT3s for CSRL. And then Thursday, we have the doubleheader Virtual Velocity Racing and the Core GT series. But for myself and Jimmy from the track, too tough for anyone to tame here tonight. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.